Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to your October numerology forecast with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. As always, Rafi loves you. So, a few things. Obviously, there is loads of content coming to, loads of new content that's coming to the channel at the moment. So, I want to make a short announcement to let you know what is going on, right? So, every day, Monday through Friday, you are going to see me pop up on your YouTube screen to bring you a live stream on some astrological aspect. It's probably going to be something to do with numerology. Just basically, there's a whole bunch of new stuff coming, right? So stick around, look out for my posts, and pay attention to what is showing up. All right. Now, with that said, um, we are here to talk about October's numerology, right? So I will be getting these out earlier from here on in so that you can actually get this information before the month starts. September was a tough case because I had loads of things going on and there was lots of things to launch and put out into the world. So we will be doing these earlier, so you've got plenty of time to use this as a plan in your personal world. If you are new to my channel, I am Raphael. I am a astrologer, tarot reader, numerologist, and energy worker. That is my bag. Those are my core four, as I like to call them. These are the things that I use to bring you the knowledge and information that I do. And sometimes I even include muscle testing, which I think is very important as well. Now, with that said, if I'm ever talking about astrology, it is whole sign tropical Western astrology. If I'm ever using numerological calculations, they are standard numerological energies and formula. And also Pythagorean. Every so often, I'll chuck in some Chaldean numerology, and sometimes I'll use some ancient techniques as well. But all in all, it's numerology. All right. So, with that said, October is shaping up to be a pretty interesting month. So, remember, in these reports, we're going to be looking at the microcosmic level, we're going to be looking at the macrocosmic level so that you can really get the most out of the month, right? So, first off, we're going to start with the universal month number. And this month, we are working with the energy and the frequency of the number nine. Now, if you've been with me long enough, you will have heard me say that number nine is the energy. It's the number of energy, frequency, and vibration. It's a very sensory and therefore a very sensitive vibration. Now, the characteristics of the number nine, they are somewhat eliminative and closure sort of orientated, especially because this is the number of completion in many ways, right? It's the time to personally and professionally take stock, to really think about where you are in your current journey. This really is a number of that has like a reflective quality to it as well. And it has like a natural dreaminess. Now, that being said, it is a very humanitarian energy. It is a very selfless energy. This month, we are going to see a lot of headlines that are focused around big names, well-known people, and quite possibly the airing of some dirty laundry, right? And I mean, look, we can see what's happening in the world at this moment in time, whether you are paying attention to it or not. I'm fairly certain that some of the stuff that's going on in the media will have unfortunately graced your presence, right? This is really a time to think about what we can do for others. Where can we be of service? Where can we support and assist the collective or those in our personal sphere of existence in some way, shape, or form? Now, it's important because this is a time of gratitude, it's a time of humility, patience, and tolerance, right? And I will say as well, those people that don't sort of demonstrate this will probably be shown to be the villains in some way, shape, or form. It's not about prostrating yourself in front of everybody and saying, oh, thank you, and, laying it on thick. It's just about holding a level of, hmm. All right. Now, this can be a very good time, as I said, to take stock. Really great month to do a lot of journaling, to really think about where you've been, right? What have you been experiencing? What have you been doing? It's also a really good time to think about adaptations that you might need to set into motion. Taking stock is the name of the game, right? And especially at this moment in time, as is honesty about what is and what isn't working. That's going to be a really key component to this. Now, in terms of this being a number of completion, it is a number, it's an ideal time really to close things down, wrap up projects. Interestingly enough, at this time, not only are we in Libra season where decision making and weighing up the facts and options becomes important, we're also in the time where making where we're making decisions and sticking with our commitment to them in a cardinal air sort of sense. And that's going to be vital at this time. We are also in the time where Jupiter is going to start its annual retrograde period right the way through the end of this year into and up to like I think it's like the 4th of February of 2025. So this really does mean that now is a time to check in on your beliefs, your biases, your philosophies on life, and it's also a time for really getting like for thinking really deeply about your own unique skill set. Now, in terms of sensitivity, as Jupiter is also a planet of vision and prophecy and the future, and it's retrograde, right? That means that things turn inwards. Now, this is important because that's the bigger, it's like a bigger energy that's in the sky. If you haven't seen it, just yesterday, if you're watching this on the day that I release it, just yesterday I put out a video on it's a Jupiter retrograde special where there's messages for all 12 signs as well. I really went in on that one. So if you want to sort of understand this at a deeper level in terms of the Jupiterian element, then that is really the video for you. I'll put the link for it in the description box below. Now, that being said, this is a time to really take stock of your visions, write them down, and silently watch them come to pass, right? Where can you interview, like where is it in your own life that you can intervene due to such foresight, right? Do so, but don't force the issue. Now, finally, this is a time to enjoy good company, giving and receiving gifts. Nine is a very interactive kind of energy. It's actually a very social energy, right? Partially because of that humanitarian streak, but it's more than that. Nine is truthfully a very connective, very empathetic energy. And this is a great time for kindness and caring towards both animals and human kindred. This is a time for you to, and truthfully speaking, this is how it should always be. But now such things might be that much more to the forefront and it's easily accessible or more noticeable at this time. Now, funnily enough, the nine energy is actually ruled by Mars, right? This is important because where is Mars at this moment in time? If you haven't seen it, every Tuesday I go live around 12 noon-ish midday in the UK. And I go live on YouTube and I talk about the Mars moves. And I've really been digging into this Mars transit of Cancer because it's a really big deal, right? Because Mars is going to go retrograde at the end of this year and it's going to come back into the sign of Cancer. And we're going to be dealing with that right the way through to the 25th of right the way through till I think it's like April 18th, not 25th. I said 25th because I was thinking of 2025. But basically, until April of 2025, we're not going to be done with this Mars transit. So you should really be paying attention to Mars right now. Now, as I say, nine energy is naturally ruled by Mars, right? Mars is currently in the sign of Cancer. This is a very sensitive energy. It's a very potent energy. And it's a reminder that there are some things in our lives that are worth fighting for. And there are other times where, you know what, we're going to feel it and we're going to feel it really deep. We're going to feel it really personally. Speaking of personal, on the microcosmic level, the message around this month's numerology is where can you be more giving and where can you be more supportive of others? Where do you feel that your greatest contribution to the world is? Do you know what that is, right? Is that something that you've ever even thought about? This can be a month where you really start to discover that. And I don't want to get into, because you guys, if you've been with me long enough, you know I've got not hang-ups, but I'm frustrated with the way that a lot of the coaches and gurus kind of talk about purpose because it's left a lot of people feeling like, oh, well, I don't feel like I've discovered my purpose yet. And so does that mean that I'm useless? No, of course not, right? you're going to have multiple purposes over the course of a lifetime. And the reason I mention this and bring it up is because this month can go a long way to helping you understand what you believe your purpose is to serve the collective in some way, shape, or form. It's time to get really serious about your commitments and also about what you stand for. That's a nine energy in a nutshell as well. And what, because nine is very much like the defender of the underdog, right? And what's really important and intriguing about this is if nine is ruled by Mars and Mars is in the sign of Cancer, this is about what and who we will fight for that we understand cannot or may not be able to do that for themselves, right? The other thing is, if we're getting serious about our commitments and what we stand for, this doesn't just mean out there with other people. This also means with yourself at a soul level. This is about being really responsible to say, this is what I believe and I'm going to back it. This is what I know to be true in my heart and I'm going to follow that path. And also, in terms of holding those commitments, when you hold your commitments and your promises to yourself, life and things can but improve, right? Since this is a time of completion and we start the month in Libra season and we end it in Scorpio season, use this energy wisely. Go through your lifescape and ask yourself, what is it that has to be released to make way for the new, right? We're in the sign of autumn, we're in the season of autumn, certainly here in the Northern Hemisphere. You're in spring down there in the southern hemisphere, but I think this is still sort of relevant, or maybe you can use this to flip it. What new things, right? If you're in the southern hemisphere, what new things are you ready to enter into your life, right? But use the rest of this so that you can say, okay, I'm done with that now because you're coming out of the winter. Whereas we here in the northern hemisphere, it's about asking yourself, what do I know can now be released in order to make way for the new further on, in the spring of 2025. Then at the latter end of the month, set about doing that release, right? Let go of, chucking out mentally, physically, spiritually, what has only served to now hold you back or stop your growth. Now, in terms of personal year considerations, if you are in a personal year one, a personal year three, a personal year five, or maybe even a personal year seven, it might be a little bit more challenging for you because your energies are more focused on the self and things that you want or things that you desire. If you're in a personal year two, four, or six, this could be a really wonderful time for you because it's like you're in a partnership, where you're more prone to partnership or drawn to connection or collaboration, and those energies are favored in your personal year. Now, if you don't know your personal year, don't panic. There is a link for a video in the description that will show you how to calculate that. And then I have a whole series of personal year videos where you can watch those and really dig into what is unfolding for you over the course of the year. Now, this month is a pivotal month in terms of whenever we hit the last 3 months of the year, we can already start to see the little seedlings that are being planted for the year ahead's energy. There is, as I say, there's a video link down in the description for you to watch that and also watch that playlist. Now, key dates to watch for this month: the 10th, the 20th, and the 30th. They're going to be, I mean, those numbers of the months, whatever month we are in, apart from February, they're always a little bit more intense, right? They're always a little bit more extreme. And that's something about the nine energy in general. It is somewhat extreme. It's either all in or all out, right? And in that respect, the number one and nine, they have a lot in common. They are, after all, opposite ends of the spectrum. Or the other key dates to watch out for this month are the 9th, the 18th, and the 27th, with the 18th being particularly quite powerful. Could be an incredible day for teamwork, and it's a really great day to establish some kind of a partnership. But it would need to be done with people or a person that you really trust at a core level. Integrity and solid boundaries are going to be vital on that day as well. So I invite you to take a moment, take a breath, breathe it in. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help us all on our paths to our highest vibrational good. So what I'm going to do now is get into the tarot pool for each one of the life paths. So as long as you know your life path number, this is obviously this is for everybody. Now, that being said, I do want to say obviously October. I mean, truthfully speaking, the cart for my work with me one-to-one for 3 months closes on the 29th of September. So you got 3 days left. If you're watching this on the day that I'm putting it out, you got 3 days left. There's a link for that in the description box below as well. What you're looking at there is working with me one-to-one from October right the way through December. We're going to build you a strategy. We're going to work one-to-one. We're going to have monthly check-ins. And on top of that, you will have Rafi in your pocket where you can get me on WhatsApp to answer questions about the goals and intentions that we set for you using your chart, your astrology, your numerology, and a whole bunch more things. All right. It would be wonderful to have you. Sign up link in the description. So for the Life Path 1 people, this month could be a stellar month for you. And it's also because it allows you to really come into your own and shine in a way that is unique to you. Like if you can tap into what the collective is feeling, and I think you might have already done that at this point, it's very likely that your advancement could really show up in ways that you never expect. And to add to this, you've got the King of Pentacles. Look at that, right? So material success, absolutely, potentially promotions or expansion of your goals or reaches, the things that you're setting into motion. It's also very possible that you start to see physical, tangible results of the hard work and effort that you've put out into the world. The other thing that this suggests as well is that you get a moment to really enjoy the fruits of your labor because you've already done the hard work, right? You've already put the hard work, time, and energy, or you've put the diligent effort in and now you get to reap the reward. So I absolutely love this for you if you are a Life Path 1. The other thing that I want to mention as well, if you want to book your personal numerology session with me, you know what to do. There's a link in the description for that. For the Life Path 2 people, this month might take on a much more spiritual sort of leaning for you. And it might be wise for, well, not even wise, it's wise for you to trust your intuition, especially as it relates to endeavors around groups, group associations, and the like, right? There might also be a chance for you to connect with others on a larger scale, and that really should take, that should take precedence if it comes up. Pay attention to your dreams this month because they're going to be very active and they can actually be very informative as well. And for this, you've got the Eight of Cups. So really and truthfully, right, that 9 energy kicks in. And I think what it's trying to show you is this is about walking away from where you are no longer valued, right? It's about you being really honest and saying, you know what, this group, this connection, this bunch of people have served their purpose. I've served them as best or as much as I'm possibly able. And now it's time to get really active about honoring myself and moving forward. I think you're going to know intuitively and instinctively where you're no longer meant to be this month. And I would trust that. For the Life Path 3 people among you, set about doing what you also for the Life Path 2 people, sorry, I forgot to mention. If you want to book your personal numerology session with me, you can do so on the link in the description box below. For the Life Path 3 people among you, as I said, set about doing what it is that you do best. Have fun. This is a really great month for you to be networking. I also really like this as a time for you to formulate your ideas into something, especially into something that's cohesive. It's like no longer do you just have bits of an idea, you're starting to see it really come together and crystallize into something that is sort of whole and complete. Now, do this and play, right? Play through fun, play, connectivity through laughter. Do all of these things and you will absolutely be heading in the right way. This is not a month for heavy. It's not a month, for too much sort of intensity, right? It's vital to expand your mind and your thinking this month as well. And for this, you've got the King of Wands, right? So sometimes it's not necessarily what you know, but who. And the King of Wands could see you connecting with a power player this month that can help your ideas expand and get out there. This is also a card of visibility, right? So this is basically saying to you this month, if you're a Life Path 3, whatever you're trying to share with the world, you've got to expand yourself. You've got to make yourself known. This is not a month to shy away. This is a month for you to be out there and to be seen, mixing and mingling, rubbing shoulders as you like to do. It's also possible that a fire sign male, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, may feature for you this month as well. Now, for those of you that are a life path 4, this is going to be a month that really requires you to let go of something, right? And it's possibly something that you love, something that you desire, something that you really want. And even still, you need to let it go, right? The transformation and change in effect that is really possible for you now is like if you fight this, it'll be something that ends up getting that you kind of get swept away with. Now, this doesn't have to be anything scary. This could be, maybe you had a dream to, I don't know, gosh, I'm just trying to think of an idea. Um, yeah, like maybe you've been, like, if you're anything like me, right? Maybe you have a Target top. You've had this t-shirt for like a couple of years and you're like, at some point I'm going to fit into this. And it's like, are you though? It's probably best to just let this go. Is there something in your life that you're hoarding or holding on to that really has kind of passed its sell by date and it's time to move on? This is about freeing up time, space, energy, and potentially even resources for yourself. It's about being honest and strategic around releasing things. And for this, you've got the Magician card. The power really lies firmly in your hands. If you are a life path 4, you have the ability to make something different, or not even make something different, but to affect change in a big way. You also have the ear of the universe. So pay attention, right? If the universe is saying to you, listen, this is something that you need to let go, and you say, okay, what do I do instead? Pay attention to what else shows up for you. And because at the moment, I feel like you're clinging to something because you feel like there won't be anything to replace it. It's not the way of it. For the life, if you want to book your personal numerology session with me, you can do so on the link in the description box below. For the life path 5 people, be yourself, right? This month, let your freedom and your liberated spirit reign, right? This is a month to it is a month really to kind of be yourself and to honor yourself, but also remember that this month overall is really about others. Now, what's really interesting is the way that the numbers have fallen this time, it's like everyone this month is being more themselves than usual. And that in turn allows us to kind of let each other be. Now, slow down, right? Let others catch up. Give them time, especially where you're collaborating, right? While your nature is about sort of doing what you want when you want to do it, you also need to remember and to value the energy or the understanding of standing still, right? So for this, you've got the Two of Wands, which is literally, it's a card of action, but it's a card of decisive action. So this month is like you're getting really clear on the direction that you want to go, and you're building your plan in the background before you sort of execute it. Sorry, I've got that bloody itchy nose thing, and it's always right at the tip, right? It's like someone's got a little feather and they're just doing that. If you want to book your personal numerology session with me, you can do so on the link in the description box below. Life Path 6 people, your home and your hearth will always take precedent for you. But this is a month where you get to lean into that, right? Allowing yourself to be more family focused, to be more service orientated, and also to do what you love and who you love to do it with. This might be a really good time for you to declutter your home as well, and really get rid of any stuff that's sort of taking up space. For this, you've got the Five of Wands. If you can make it a collaborative effort, that would be even better. So my advice would be like, let's say you've got a big family, you've got a big home and it's starting to get messy because there's everything everywhere and there's lots of stuff that needs to go. How about you make it a familial affair, right? And you all go into the kitchen and start clearing away things that you don't use, that's broken, that needs to be given away. Do it all one room at a time, but do it together. Then that way you can really start to understand and enhance the memories that you have as well. For your, if you want to book your personal numerology session with me, you can do so on the link in the description box below. For the Life Path 7 people among you, you will be glad to hear this month. I know every month I'm like, no, you can't do your hermit thing, right? No, you need to be out there in the world. And a lot of Life Path 7 people have been like, Raf, enough, right? Well, I'll tell you, this month you can absolutely be a hermit. You can take time out. You can analyze the shit out of things and people. Right? This is a month, though, where you are encouraged to look for the good, right? To find the grace or the redeeming facets or qualities of others. To really, sorry, there's that bloody fly. To really find the good, to find the grace in others, to find the redeeming factors, including those in yourself. Magic really does await you this month if you are able to find yourself in that. And it's not even about so much forgiveness so much as it is acceptance, right? I think if you can move into that energy, you really gain something wonderful this month. And look, you've got the Empress. Chill the fuck out, right? If you're a Life Path 7, take some breaths, get some good food, have some sofa days or some duvet days, hole up with a really good book, do some writing and some journaling, just delve into the things that really make your heart sing and that allow you to really experience life in the embodied sense. But this is meant to be a smooth, easy month for you in particular. And if you can get out into the natural world, even if it's on your own, highly favored. If you want to book your personal session with me, you can do so on the link in the description box below. For the Life Path 8 people, I know you have plans, right? But truthfully speaking, this month might not necessarily be the best time to execute them. There's too much volatile energy in the air. And so, what you do what you do best. Create a solid plan, optimize, strategize, right? If you can do those things this month, you can and you absolutely will soar. And for this, you've got the Ace of Swords, right? So you've got this whole month ahead of you to plan, right? And then once you've got a really solid plan, then you start to think about the execution. All right. The other thing is as well, it's possible that contracts and commitments of a legal nature and or a an official sort of slant as well could show up for you this month. For the life part, if you want to book your personal session with me, you can do so on the link in the description box below. For the Life Path 9 people among you, it can possibly be a month where you feel like you're more yourself than ever, or it can be a month that feels somewhat extreme. I'm probably going to say it's going to be a little bit of both. 9 is a number of extremes, and so it's full on whatever it does. And a part of the reason is anyone that carries a lot of or a significant energy around 9 energy, they're all in, right? It's like, you know what, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to, and funnily enough, I'm not a life path 9, but I have, so in my name, I have, my first letter is R, which equates to the number 9. My second name begins with an R, so that equates to 9. And at the end of my middle name, I also have an R. So I've got 3 of those babies right there. And it shows up, right? I can assure you. And one of my personal sayings in life has always been, I would rather make a mistake. If I'm going to make a mistake, I'd rather do it with the full force of my being than do anything half-assed, right? That's 9 in a nutshell. So you will need to be aware of and prepared for with your tools to write this out, especially on some days. So go back to the key dates that I mentioned further back. That being said, this can be a beautiful month where you really do feel more like yourself than you have in a long time. It could also see you maybe just really going to town on something. Remember, it is only a month's energy. So if you're going to start something that requires longevity, you're probably better off waiting until November. All right. For this, you have the full card, right? Press that reset button, new things, new places, new people, new energies, and a shift point in your reality in some way, shape, or form. So, if you want to book your personal reading with me, your personal numerology session with me, you can do so on the link in the description box below. For the life path, so now we cross the barrier into the master number vibrations. If you are a life path 11, This month, this is really a month for partnerships, connections, and collaborations where your emotions are very close to the surface. So keep that in mind because this month you're not going to be able to hide much, right? Your face, your energies, and your emotions just won't be hidden this month. They will give you away. And if you're anything like me, I'm not a life path 11. I could never be that awesome. But trust me, like, I don't know if you've seen the meme that says, I can hold my tongue, but this face needs deliverance. My face will give me away every single time. And I'll never forget, in one of my first ever jobs, my boss actually said to my grandmother one day when she was picking me up, um, she said, like, Raf's eyes say everything. Raf's eyes and Raf's face say everything that he knows that his mouth probably shouldn't. And I was like, oh damn it! Like this face needs deliverance. So that being said, be as honest, not even as honest as you can, just be honest in all of your dealings and give yourself a breather when it all feels too much, right? Step away from things when you have to, and people as well. Be careful that it doesn't become that by doing too much by committee. So it's like, yes, partnership, connection, collaboration is all going to be very important this month, but don't get into the rut of like depending on, all of your decisions that you want to make, depending too much on others. Now, for this, you've got the Wheel of Fortune. Love that for you, especially for the right connections showing up at just the right time. If you want to book your personal session with me, you can do so on the link in the description. For the Life Path 22 people, it is the time for you to tap into the spiritual side of your life path number this month, right? You are to do your rituals, your observances, connecting to your ancestors, whatever it is that helps you feel alive and connected. This is the month that you reach for and you tap into that higher power. If you just try to continue down the usual path of the material and the mundane, it's probably going to collapse, right? Your life is showing you this month that spirituality is what it needs. A more spiritual approach to things, right? This isn't just about money. It's not just about resources. It's not just about numbers and facts and figures and going hard and building things big. This month, you have to show up with the spiritual side, right? It's like I don't know if you've seen, Rafa Nadal, his serving arm for tennis, he's got like this one massive bicep and then one just normal size bicep, which I find hilarious, right? It's because the power that's going through that arm. Now, this is kind of like that big bicep for you, Life Path 22 people. That's going to be your material world sort of attributes and energies. And then the normal bicep is going to be your spiritual stuff. It's this month you've got to swap them round, right? You've got to start building that other sort of part because otherwise the stuff that you're building is likely to fall apart. Okay. So this month, do your thing. For this, you've got the Eight of Wands. If you have to, find and work with or connect with a mentor, a coach, or a guru, right? If you feel like, yes, Raf, you know what, you're right. Actually, I do want to build this up, but I don't know where to start. Maybe you're not meant to do this alone. Maybe you're meant to find a coach, a mentor, or even a teacher. It's also possible that a guide could reveal themselves at this time, and it might not necessarily be a person. This could be, or maybe it's even somebody that's not here anymore. So I'll give you an example about this. I discovered Alan Watts. I only discovered Alan Watts in 2000 and I think it was either 2013, 2014. And I was absolutely blown away. I was like, how have I never heard of this guy before? Right. And it's funny as well because friends of mine had also said to me, like, that's really crazy. Like, how is it that you have never heard of this guy? And I was like, I couldn't tell you. But when I did find him, it was a really profound sense of like, wow, you know what? I never met you in life, but I know that we are kin, right? I know that we're kin. I know that we're kindred. And I've actually had people say to me, when you laugh like him. It's like a full sort of engaged belly laugh, right? And or a cackle, depending on what I'm laughing at. So if you want to book your personal session with me, Life Path 22, you can do so on the link in the description box below. And finally, if you are a Life Path, no means least, If you're a life path 33, this is a month for you to break out of your shell, to do something differently, right? And to do it totally differently, like to really lean into what it means to have fun, right? There's a chance to liberate yourself from some of the karma that doesn't necessarily belong to you, or something that you may have wanted or needed to be free from for some time now shows up, right? Or certainly the door that you have to walk through in order to be free of it. And you've got this with the Three of Pentacles, which is crazy, right? Because you're a 33. This is the three energy as well. And it really is. This is all about collaboration. This is all about fun. It's also about working hard towards a specific goal in a way that actually feels like it's pleasurable and enjoyable. It doesn't always have to be hard, right? So cut yourself some slack this week. And then finally, if you would like to book your personal numerology session with me, you can do so on the link in the description box below. Now, to wrap it up, that concludes October's numerological insights. Short and sweet. But if you want to know what all of this means for you and it speaks direct and how it speaks directly to your life path and where you're at this moment in time, if you want me to help you build a numerological strategy, this is the time, right? Hit the link in the description box below. You can have a numerology consultation, or if you feel like you want to go even beyond that, there is the Biz Builder strategy session, and those are really great ways to experience this. Remember, 9 is extreme, it's culminative, eliminative, it is ruled by Mars, it's passionate, it's energetic, it's slow and accepting and yielding, right? It's giving and empathetic, it's energy, frequency, and vibration. This is a month where we're all going to be that much more sensitive, right? So to wrap it up, think about how this is going to show up for you. Think about what you're ready to take stock of, what you're ready to release, what you're ready to transcend. And then slowly but surely build a path towards doing that so that you can live the life that you feel like you're meant to. With that said, have a fantastic month. I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Go out there and be who you're destined to be. Take care, and I'll see you soon.